Let's talk about Athens, a city where philosophy wasn't just something you debated, it was something you built. We're about to see how a city's biggest, most profound ideas can be carved right into stone, creating a permanent statement of what it believes in. So that's the big question, right? How does a huge idea of philosophy actually turn into a physical building? Well, to figure that out, we've got to go to the ultimate case study, ancient Athens. All right. Our journey starts with the city's name itself. Turns out it's all rooted in this foundational myth, a choice that really would define its entire character for thousands of years. So, the legend goes like this. There was this epic contest between two heavy hitters, Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and Poseidon, the god of the sea. They were both vying to be the city's patron, and their gifts couldn't be more different. Poseidon, god of the sea, he strikes the ground and offers a saltwater spring. It's a symbol of raw brute force. But Athena, she presents the olive tree, a gift of peace, sustenance, and really cultivation itself. And you know what? The Athenians chose the olive tree. By doing that, they chose Athena. Now, this wasn't just picking a mascot. This was basically their mission statement. They were saying, we value wisdom and thoughtful cultivation over raw power. And believe me, that single decision shaped everything that came next. So let's see how that big idea was actually built into the city, literally. We're heading up to the most iconic landmark in Athens, what is basically a sacred stage for the gods, the Acropolis. The word Acropolis itself is pretty cool. It just means high city, and that's exactly what it was. It had this dual purpose, you see. On one hand, it was a natural fortress, the best place for defense. But it was also something more. It was a sacred stage, a place to honor the very gods who defined their entire world. And it's not just a little hill. We're talking 156 meters rising above the city. The Acropolis isn't just a high point. It's a total statement piece. It was designed to be seen from everywhere, to make you feel a sense of awe, and to constantly remind the citizens down below of the divine, of the ideal they were striving for. The Acropolis we admire today, it literally rose from the ashes. The Persians destroyed the original. So in the 5th century BCE, the Athenians rebuilt it. And this wasn't just a simple repair job. Oh no, this was a defiant statement of their resilience, their newfound democracy, and their massive cultural ambition. And right at the very peak of that ambition, you find the Parthenon. But here's the secret, and it's an amazing one. Its visual perfection is actually a brilliant illusion. It's basically a masterpiece of architectural psychology. The architects had this really fascinating problem to solve. What happens if perfect geometry doesn't actually look perfect to the human eye? I mean, they knew that a long, perfectly straight line can seem to sag in the middle, and that columns that are perfectly parallel can look like they're leaning. So, how in the world do you build something that feels perfect to our very flawed perception? Well, their solution was this incredible set of techniques that we now call optical corrections. These are deliberate, tiny adjustments in the architecture, all designed to counteract those natural optical illusions and trick our eyes into seeing perfect, straight, harmonious lines. And here's how they pulled it off. It's brilliant. First, the base of the temple, it's not flat. It actually curves up slightly in the middle, which makes it look perfectly flat to us. Then the columns, they're not straight either. They swell out just a little bit in the middle, a technique called entasis, to make them look strong and straight. And get this, even the corner columns are a little thicker than the others, just to fight that illusion of them looking thinner against the bright sky. They figured out that true perfection isn't about math, it's about how it connects with the human eye. This is architecture built for people, not just for a blueprint. And it wasn't just the Parthenon. Right nearby, you've got the Epicurean, which is famous for its caryatids. These are these incredible sculpted figures of women that are actually holding up the roof. Here, the very idea of grace and beauty becomes a structural element. It's just, wow. Okay, so let's come down from that sacred hill, down from the world of the gods, and into the valley of the people, the noisy, chaotic, and absolutely brilliant heart of Athenian life. Yeah, right below the perfect, orderly world of the Acropolis, you had the Ancient Agora. This was everything. The marketplace, the courthouse, the public square. If the Acropolis was about reaching for some divine ideal, the Agora was about the messy, amazing reality of human beings literally inventing democracy, commerce, and philosophy right on the spot. And one of the coolest things about Athens is how it's always connecting its past to its present. Just look at the Panathinaike Stadium. It started as the site for ancient athletic games. Then boom, in 1896, it's totally reborn to host the very first modern Olympic Games. This is just what Athens does. It takes its old, incredible forms and breathes new life into them, creating this living link right across the centuries. So as we start to pull all these different threads together, what is the real legacy of Athens? What's the story written in its stones? I mean, what is Athens when you really think about it? It's a myth machine, for sure, always telling stories about its own values. It's a bustling modern capital. It is, of course, a field of some of the most magnificent ruins on Earth. But more than anything, like we've seen, it's an idea, a whole set of beliefs about wisdom, beauty, and public life, all made real in marble and stone. And all of this leaves us with one final, kind of electrifying question. What happens when a civilization decides that beauty and debate and religion and public life, that they aren't separate categories, that they all belong together, woven into the very fabric of the city? Well, in Athens, you don't have to guess at the answer. You can see it. It's right there, standing for all time, carved in stone.